right, thanks for joining me for a more detailed understanding of the structured conversation tool. In microdose number 7, I talked about the two least common denominators of a conversation, the content and the structure. The structure is the unspoken rules that we enter into conversations expecting each other to follow, but they're never spoken. We don't tell each other what we think the rules should be. So we break the rules, and when that happens, such as interrupting, the content of the conversation flies right out the window, and we enter into a conflict most of the time. So the structured conversation tool is designed to even the playing field for internal processors and external processors and people that are conflict comfortable and conflict tolerant. By evening the playing field, giving them a set of rules to follow that they both agree to and understand, allows for a conversation that is productive, respectful, and has an outcome of an expected change behavior. All right. So the structured conversation tool is a set of rules. The first rule is use the structured conversation tool when you're going to have a sensitive, emotionally sensitive conversation with your partner, or you're having a conversation that takes an unexpected negative emotional turn. Take a 5-minute timeout, find the next time you can have a distraction-free environment, and sit down and have a structured conversation about that topic. All right, number 2, predetermine how long the conversation will be. Usually 20 to 30 minutes works. Definitely recommend not going longer than 40 to 50 minutes. That gets a little taxing emotionally. So 20 to 30 usually works well. Rule number 3, predetermine how long each person will have to talk when it's their turn to talk. Usually 1 minute each back and forth works well. And I definitely recommend using a physical timer. I use a physical digital interval workout timer because you can preset the overall amount of the conversation, and you can preset how the time will be back and forth with each person. You hit it, you don't have to touch it again for the whole conversation. Rule number 4, each person should have a piece of paper, pencil, or something to write on, something to write with. And this is not to take notes of what the other person's saying. This is to take notes to remind yourself of something that you think of while you're listening to your partner that you want to remember to say when it's your turn. But since you can't interrupt, you quick write yourself a note so you remember when it's your turn to talk. Rule number 5, come up with some negotiated, compromised action plan. This should include concrete, measurable behaviors that each of you agree you will work on trying to change these behaviors moving forward. And the last rule, rule number 6, and that final sound of the timer, when the conversation's over, try to spend about 30 minutes away from each other, not having a conversation. We don't want spontaneous, unstructured conversations to emerge. That's fertile ground for a conflict. So take time away, reflect on the positive aspects of the conversation that you just had and the action that you're going to start trying to show your partner each day moving forward. That's the structured conversation tool. It's just those 6 rules. I said 5 rules in microdose number 8, but that's fine. 5 rules, 6 rules. It's the structured conversation tool. And by using it, 2 things happen. If I can count on my partner to sit down and have a structured conversation with me, a seed of trust is planted that we will always be able to sit down and respectfully negotiate, compromise, and come up with a plan of change behavior in our relationship. And the second thing, the most common feedback I get from couples that I'm working with who use the tool, they say, Dr. Dan, oh my gosh, after using it the first time, I feel like there's hope for us to really get close in this relationship and communicate like we've never communicated before. So use the tool, grow close, develop trust, and I really believe your relationship will benefit from using the structured conversation tool.